I knew he was a next level coach. He had been at Iowa before Arizona, and he took Iowa to the Final Four, I think, in 1979. And it was a real coup for Arizona to hire him from Iowa. And so he had a great reputation. He just maybe wasn't as known nationally as Dean Smith or Mike Krzyzewski or those guys. But the second I stood in front of him, it was terrifying. I mean, you think of your old coach in high school. In some cases, you can say that a good coach is like a good parent, right? As a player, you have tremendous respect for a coach. You just don't want to let him down, and you love him. Maybe you're a little afraid of him. You know what I mean? Like in a healthy way. Yeah. In a healthy way. Like there was never anything negative. He was, he was great. But you just didn't want to let him down. But he had this amazing presence, and he was so thorough in his preparation. And when he took over the program, the team was terrible. The program was terrible, and so he literally had to build it from the ground up. And so it was really fun to be a part of it from the very beginning, and to be there for 5 years because I had an injury and redshirted, and we were in the Final Four my senior year. So to see it go from rock bottom to the Final Four, be part of that foundation that you built was really amazing. You come in as a young player, you don't even know what's going on. You got to figure out what's going on, and then you take the next step, And when you get to a great team, a championship level team, that's the apex. That's where the pressure is truly on. And Michael Jordan put a lot of pressure on all of us. He did.
Did you like it?
After the ball went in. It was great. But it was the ultimate test. And it was, there were sleepless nights, nights after games where I felt like a complete failure. It's the ultimate test. And, once you can look back on it after your career's done, that's when you appreciate how much you were able to grow and experience and what you had to overcome, your own fears, your own limitations. And then you realize how lucky was I to be able to put everything on the line and go for it. And because most people don't ever get that opportunity, but you also have to get to the point as an athlete, as a human being, where you're willing to go for it. Because a lot of people, myself included, don't want to be the GOAT. You don't want to what's happening. And so there's a tendency for a lot of players to pull back a little bit. And then you realize as you go, you've got to take that final leap. You got to go for it, and you have to be willing to risk failure. And to me, that's the final step for an athlete, to have enough confidence in himself to risk failure and to accept failure, and then to keep doing that over and over again. Most people, when they hear athleticism, they think speed and jumping. But Steph is the perfect example of athleticism being about coordination and balance and hand-eye. And so you can put a golf club in Steph's hands, a tennis racket, put a football in his hands, and he's going to be great at any of them. Same with Clay. And I think, and this is, we could go a lot of different ways with this conversation, but I think there's a real benefit when kids play a lot of sports growing up, and they play different sports. And these days we kind of tend to specialize right away. We're worried that our kids are going to fall behind and we put them in one sport. But kids who excel at a lot of different sports, I think it translates from one to another, and the cumulative experience that Steph Curry gained living that kind of childhood has made him a better basketball player.